The upcoming video is a special clip from our Soaring Stars Academy professional development. Let's get to it.
The do's and the don'ts. And we've already talked about a couple of these, but do not stand there and preach. This is for both the littles and for the bigs. And all of us know this. All of us know, oh yeah, I shouldn't be talking for 10, 15 minutes without some sort of interruption. How many of you are taking the time to time yourself? To look down at your phone. I always have my phone on me. I know that's kind of, more complicated, depending on if you want your phone around you or not, but there's always a clock in the room. How many of you are taking the time to look up at the clock, say, hey, I'm starting this lecture. I need to be done in 5 minutes, because if you're not, I challenge you to do it. Especially for the littles. If you are talking for longer than 5 minutes, you are no longer instructing, you are preaching. You are up on your podium, and for a lot of us, it's hard to get down from that podium because we love what we're teaching. When I start talking about dynamics or about form, about how different composers use articulation, I'm liable to get lost because I love to teach that. Even right now, I know that we have a movement break coming up so that I at some point shut up. Don't preach, instruct. Give them their instructions and then let them do it. Then let them do it. Another don't, do not keep to the lesson. This is a hard one, and again, a lot of us know this, but we spend so much time lesson planning. We spend so much time and effort putting our all into making a lesson that's going to be meeting the objections for our students, getting them to do the things that we want them to do, and then we see it spiral out of control because some student decided to make a fart noise with their hand. And we try to keep to it. If you see your lesson plan spiraling, you need to have a toolbox. You need to have an arsenal kit, something that you always have in the back of your mind of, oh, I will bring this out. I will bring this video as a quick way to get my students back on task. And it also has to make sense. If your students aren't meeting expectations with whatever behavior is going on, movement, I do believe, prevents a lot of challenging behaviors, but there will also just be behaviors. And if instead, when that behavior starts, you're rewarding it with instruments, or you're rewarding it with a video, that sends that complicated message. So I'm not saying, all right, when that student is standing up on that table calling for everyone's attention, grab everyone else's attention by instead putting on one of their favorite videos. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying instead is have that little bit of musical candy that you know will get your students' attention back on you. All right, guys, I have a video for you, but I'm not showing you until your eyes are on me in 3. Your voice is off in 2. Body's calm in 1. Which those are a bit of my expectations, which we will go over in a second. This one I had a really hard time writing in the don'ts, but I do believe it's true. Do not treat them the same. Every student is different, and we know this. But it's still hard to stop trying to put every student into that one box. Have your expectations be high for every student. But know that every student is going to start somewhere different. So one student's high could possibly be another student's low, and that's okay. You can't treat them the same. You need to know your learners. You need to know which student you can push and which student you need to back off from. And I think a lot of that just comes from time knowing our students. And there's nobody that's going to know your student better than you. Nobody who's going to know how to help your student more than you. This was a challenging one as well because I know a lot of teachers have differing opinions on this. A lot of teachers, the second they come in, a student grabs a chair or a spot on the rug. And that to me is one of the things that can derail a class faster than anything else. If you just let them come in and pick a spot, I feel like you've already set them and yourself up for failure. We are not born with the ability to make the best choices for ourselves. That's something that we learn as we go. So if you're letting them come in and always sit next to their best friend who you know they're going to chat with, you're not setting them up for success. I always have assigned seats, and because I've been at my school for long enough, I know my learners enough to know that one will go well with that one. This one and that one, even if they're in direct sight of each other, could bring down my class, and they will bring down themselves. I always use assigned seats, and it's something that I make sure to take a lot of time to do. This year I'm on a cart. And the one thing that especially in middle school, that I had a meeting with the entire middle school team was me asking them, can you have your seating charts posted on the board when the teacher comes in? I feel like that's one of the most important things that you can do to set yourself up for success. Have assigned seats and really take the time to think about them beforehand. So those are a bit of my do's and don'ts. At the end of the day, it's your expectations though. And I'm going to share with you my expectations and how I get my students to meet them. But I want you thinking about yours as we go along with this. Okay? Your expectations are yours. But I think all of them need to have something in common, because at the end of the day, if you don't have them, do not be shocked when they are not met. This is for new teachers. This is for teachers who are veteran teachers. If you do not have expectations, do not be shocked when they are not met. I've had a couple teachers that I've been mentoring the last few years just because I've been at the school the longest, and a couple of them are veteran teachers coming in. But they didn't have a way to show students when they were meeting expectations and when they weren't. And it was frustrating for these teachers as, well, why are they doing this? Have you showed them to not to? Do you go over what instead of they are doing, what to do instead? And we're going to be asking for yours in a second, so start thinking of what yours are in a second, which a lot of you I'm sure are like, da 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 da. My advice that I have seen has worked well in my classroom is to keep them clear and simple. If you can't pull them right out of your pocket, da 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 da, then they're probably too long. Have some sort of visual representation. I'm going to be showing you mine in just a second. So I'm going to be truthful and show my integrity here. I'm not just going to say it. I show you that I do it. Have some sort of visual representation to say, hey, you're meeting them. No, you missed it. Stay true to yourself and your values. Our values are going to be different. So my expectations might not work for your classroom. We can't go in there and not be truthful to who we are. Students can pick on that immediately. I think we can all agree that students can pick up on that immediately. They know when you're not being true to yourself. They know. And this was one that, especially towards the beginning of my career, I had to say over and over again to myself, because each class may look a little different, and that's okay. What are yours?
Looking for how to get the rest of this professional development for free? Simply sign up for a free month at the Soaring Scribes Academy, where we will also be giving you a free digital download of our Soaring Scribes Academy workbook, or pay a one-time fee. Both links are in the section below. Thank you for watching this Soaring Scribes Academy professional development, and happy playing!